guys, it's Kendra from Crafty Kendra, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is bring in our card base. And our card base is a 5.5 by 4.25 inch piece of crumb cake. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to take some pieces of designer series paper and our snail runner, and we're going to adhere them to the front of the card. This piece is a piece of Pear Pizzazz Designer Series paper, and it comes from the Designer Series Patterns paper pack, and it's the ink color, and this is one of the hostess benefits that you have if you want to pick this instead of a stamp set as your hostess gift. We're just going to run some snail along the back of it, and then adhere it towards the bottom of our card, leaving about 1/8 of an inch gap at the bottom. And it's okay if it overhangs. We're going to cut off the excess later. The next piece we're going to adhere is a piece of pumpkin pie designer series paper, and you can purchase that in the Brights collection. And you're going to adhere it with about 1/8 of an inch gap in between the Pear Pizzazz piece in itself. Okay, press that down. And then we're going to go ahead and take our card and flip it over. And with our scissors, we're just going to trim off that excess. Now what I've done on my grid sheet is I've taken scraps of typing paper, and what I've done is I've taped them using Scotch tape onto my grid paper, leaving a 1/2 inch gap in between. And you're just going to take your card and slide your card behind those papers, behind both of them. Okay. Bring it down. Alright. And you're just going to do that until it's straight. And you can tell it's straight by just lifting up your bottom flap. Got to make sure that it's straight and lined up on the next possible point. And it doesn't matter how far down you go, just so long as you have it straight and you have the 1/2 inch gap. And the reason we want that is because we're going to bring in our music notes wheel and our soft suede ink pad. Going to ink it up by rolling and lifting our wheel onto our ink pad. Now, our music notes wheel has 2 lines of music. What you want to do is make sure that you line up just one line of the music notes onto that space you have left, and then roll it straight across. And by doing this, whenever we remove our card, we're just going to have one line of music notes on there. Okay? Very important to make sure that you line up one of the rows of music in that hole, because if you don't, you're going to have two half lines of music. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to lay our card down. Okay? We're going to bring in some 1 3/4 inch circles, and they are in pumpkin pie, Pear Pizzazz, and Baja Breeze. And we're just going to adhere them down to our card using our snail. And I'm going to put my Pear Pizzazz in the center. So I'm just gonna put it in the center, but I'm not gonna push down yet. Just gonna set it there. Just kind of lightly pressed it so that it'd stay there, but I haven't pushed it down all the way, so if I need to move it, I can. I'm gonna put my pumpkin pie on the left. I'm gonna try to get it as even as I can. My Baja Breeze is going to go on the right. Same thing. Gonna get it about as even from the side as I can. They were overlapping, so I'm gonna peel up my pear pizzazz and move it over a little bit. And move my pumpkin pie over just a little bit too. Okay. Alright, and my circles are pretty even. They don't have to be perfect. We're going to take this and we're going to set it aside. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of Cupcake cardstock and the cupcake wrapper from the Creat a Cupcake stamp set and our soft suede ink pad again, and we're going to stamp the cupcake wrapper 3 times, giving it pretty good spacing in between. And the reason you want to get a good spacing in between is because of the punch. The punch punches out more than just the bottom of the cupcake wrapper. We don't want it to punch out our other ones in the row, so I'm going to start on our left and punch it. Okay, so then we have our 3 cupcake bottoms, and that's all we need of that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock. And on this scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, we're going to take the cupcake top and our pumpkin pie ink pad. And we're going to ink up our cupcake top, and we're just gonna stamp it. And if you have problems when your stamps don't always come out evenly stamped, I mean, what you can do is you can take your stamp it onto your paper, and this is your clear out stamp, and just hold it there. And then what you're going to do is just bring your Stampin' in and line your Stampin' jig up in the crook. So bring your Stampin' jig to your block just like you would to your vellum piece, and remove your ink and remove your stamp. Ink up your stamp again, and so long as your clear out stamp doesn't move on the block, you can stamp straight back down and it'll ink right over it to get it darker. Okay? Whenever you're done doing that, you're going to bring in the cupcake punch, and you're just going to punch out your orange icing. Okay. And then you're also going to want to punch out 2 plain white cupcake tops. Alright, and the reason why you punched out 2 plain white cupcake tops is because we're going to come in with the sprinkles stamp, and all you're going to do is make sure that all your cupcakes are going in the right direction, and you're going to bring in your Baja Breeze ink, take your sprinkle stamp and stamp it over your Baja Breeze icing. Clean off your stamp pad. Or, I'm sorry, not your stamp pad. Clean off your stamp. And come in with the Pear Pizzazz. And then what you're going to do is you're going to ink up your sprinkle stamp in the Pear Pizzazz and just stamp it onto your white cupcake top. Gonna come back to our card base. Okay. Gonna bring in our cupcake tops, and I like to put my solid one on the far right, and then I put my pinks, my green sprinkles on my orange piece, and my blue sprinkles on my green, so that way you don't have the orange on the orange or the green on the green. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your snail runner and run just a little snail behind the toppers. Line the toppers up towards the top of your circles. Okay, and then what you're going to do is put snail in the back of your cupcake wrappers, and you're just going to center your cupcake wrappers so that they are overlapping the very bottom edge of your cupcake tops. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in the Happy Birthday stamp from that stamp set and our soft suede ink once again. We're going to take this ink and we're going to ink up the stamp, and we're going to bring in a piece of Scrap Whisper White, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to stamp it. We're going to bring in our word window punch. Center our greeting inside the word window, and then punch it out. Going to bring in a small piece of Baja Breeze, and this piece of Baja Breeze measures 1/2 inch. What you're going to do is you're just going to take and run some snail in the back piece of your word window. Put it onto your piece of Baja Breeze, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to cut at an angle. Okay? So you're just going to have points at either end. And whenever you've done that, you're going to bring in your matte pack and your paper piercer. You're just going to pierce a hole by either one of the points. And whenever you've done that, you're going to grab 2 silver brads, and you're going to put them to the hole. Whenever you're done opening up the prongs, you're going to take 2 Stampin' Dimensionals, 1 on each end, and remove the backing. Bring in your card and just tilt your greeting towards the left. Alright, and that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks.